Hello and welcome along to another episode of this Cricket 19 career with me, Daniel. It's episode 33 and we're back midway through a first class match, and we're back because there's an exciting moment in our innings and there's a few records to be set and a few different milestones that have occurred. So we'll go and have a look at the scorecard in a minute and then obviously show you some batting action. But firstly, a massive thank you to everyone who continues to follow the series, as we're over the midway point in our fourth season now. We're doing well at Yorkshire and we're continuing to progress at county level, and we could have some more exciting moments today. So thank you for following along as always. If you're not up to date with the series yet, then do click on the eye above to catch up from the beginning. Hopefully you'll gradually notice the videos improve as you go along, as well as my ramblings making a little more sense. But for this one, let's go and have a look at the scorecard, and there's a reason we have been doing quite well. We've been able to improve with batting and bowling ability points to make ourselves a more rounded cricketer, though we did have one really difficult game off camera, which we will have a look at before the end of this episode, where we finally got bowling at a good line and length and we really struggled to deal with it. So a mixed bag in terms of form. We played two full first class matches off camera and now we're back during the third one, and if we go and look at the scorecard, I'm sure you can see why. We're flying on 97 off 65 balls. It's a record opening partnership for us at Yorkshire, and we've been joined by a former Northern Cup opponent, Mason Edward, who's come in and made 80. He's really struggled so far since being promoted, as it looks like Bairstow and Root have gone off for international duty, and in recent weeks we've been joined by Edward and Harry Brooks moved right down the order. So I'm not sure what the reasons for that is, and I have no idea who our wicketkeeper is at the moment, but either way we're putting on a decent partnership here, and we could be about to see our century in a moment. But also in this innings we've hit 5 sixes already, and we never hit one in our career before today, but they kept leaving the leg side completely blank. The furthest man was mid on and we just decided to go for it, and 5 of them went over the boundary. We've had a couple of massive whoppers as well, so we really are starting to push ourselves. Hopefully that will benefit us as we come up to the T20 Blast next month, which will obviously show plenty of action from, and we've done quite well in the short form already, winning the Royal London One Day Cup, and if we could do that in the T20 Blast as well, that would certainly add some strings to our bow. But of course the strike rate is the big thing today. I'd never intended for it to be so good, but they just keep giving us the ball outside leg stump and we're back to usual, just hitting them to the boundary. In the last game we really struggled because the opposition were bowling the good line and length, the one you expect to see at test level, and in the end we really struggled to get away and our strike rate was absolutely horrendous. In the match before that we got man of the match, but that was partly because of our bowling as well. But let's go and get back into the first delivery. Yorkshire 179 without loss, and we're not even 30 overs into the day yet, and we're just 3 runs away from our century. The medium pace bowler's coming over the wicket and we should have a chance to get a boundary quickly. Okay, then it's Mike who's coming in. 54 runs he's conceded off just 4.4 overs. He's bowling outside leg again. Easy to get a single to the man in the deep. They have plugged some of the gaps on the leg side now, so we just get 1 and remain 2 from our century. Let's see what Edward does at the other end. Hopefully he won't get out after all the hype. He doesn't, and now we're facing Abbas around the wicket, and he has made things harder in recent overs, coming around the wicket outside off stump, so we are going to go back to defensive mode. There's no need for us to take risks at this point, and the only reason we've got a good strike rate is because we haven't had to take many risks to do so. If we had, we'd leave them outside off. We actually started this innings pretty slowly. That one's closer, so we'll have to defend, but I won't bore you with all of these defensive shots. We'll keep our discipline and be back for the scoring ones. Final ball of the over, they've all been outside off. Really good line from Abbas. This one we defend again, and unfortunately we played out a maiden. We're back an over later and I'm afraid that the opening run partnership's gone. Edward's got himself out short of a century. We're going to run a single to bring Lean in on strike, and in fact we're going to be able to come back for 2. The fielder was really slow getting around there, so we protect the new batsman for a few more deliveries. Unfortunately Edward gets out, but let's just celebrate the fact we've got a century. 9 4s and 5 6s. We barely had to run at all in this innings. Not even lunch on day 1, and due to to our quick strike rate, Yorkshire are getting close to 200. It's a short one which we tickle away fine, and we even beat the man at fine leg actually. It's gone down to the boundary and rushed away for 4. We're really starting to score quickly again. You can clearly see the difference between the bowler coming over and around the wicket, but he continues to persist with the ineffective method. Why after the last over where we played out a maiden would he choose to then switch and come over the wicket? Someone please explain that to me in the comments. You may say it's a wicket taking opportunity, but he's not going to get them with the balls he's bowling. Halfway through the over and we're looking to score runs again. Over the wicket, it's a full delivery and we're just going to get a quick single. Things are calming down a little bit now, but we've reached our century so we can take some risks. We just want to protect Leaning at the other end, though he's back on strike now, the new batsman. Here comes Mike the medium pacer again then, Leaning yet to get off the mark at the other end. We go down the ground as it's a no ball from the medium pacer, and I think we're going to be able to run 2 here, but I'm not going to take that risk. We turn back and Leaning can face the next ball. It didn't cause any problems, 4 runs for him now, and again there's space on the leg side for boundaries. It's a short ball which we try to pull away. It's the biggest skill we've improved with our batting ability points, and it has paid dividends for the most part in these games, but unfortunately not on this occasion. The other thing I forgot to mention, which is a pretty big deal actually, is we have stepped up the difficulty level. You wouldn't be able to tell it with shots like that, but we're now playing on veteran rather than pro, just 1 away from legendary difficulty, the hardest available in the game. We'll go and show that after the match if need be, or we might review that in the next episode. It has affected the bowling a little bit, made it slightly harder to be economical, but with the bat we keep getting the same deliveries, bar that one game we played which was really difficult, and I'm not sure why other opponents haven't followed. Halfway through the over as one's 114 now. It's another full one which we get away, and this one might not quite reach the boundary. In fact it's going to, it's yet another 4. And when will this bowling attack learn? Griffiths continues to persist over the wicket, despite it being 3 boundaries in a row now. They've brought the fielder in the deep round a bit, so we're going to have to go a bit finer, and we do just that, and though the fielder will get there, it's surely going to be at least 2 runs. Are they going to cut it off, are they? No, it reaches the boundary. 16 runs off 4 balls, and the captain's now coming to have a word. So the last ball of the over and a final opportunity to score. We move on to 122, and we try to flick one, but it beats the edge. That's the delivery they should have been bowling. We're back to face Griffiths again, as another over's been seen out by Leaning. 4 runs added there, and we cut that one a bit fine. Almost connected with the pad first, but we are going to get through for a single. Leaning returns the favour with an immediate single at his end. This one we try and cut finer, but it's crashed into the pad on the way, and it's a half shout for an LBW, but in the end the umpire's not being fooled by that. It's just going to be a dot ball. So the strike rate's going down slightly, but I don't think ours is anything to complain about, though they have now plugged those gaps on the leg side, so we're not able to score quite as quickly. Another dot ball as it goes past the edge, and we are starting to have a few warning signs. Over the wicket again from Griffiths, 2 balls left in the over, really high bouncer and it beats all the fielders too, and it runs away to the boundary for 4. 4 wides, and what an awful way to waste a ball. Nowhere near the bat as it flew over our heads, and unfortunately it flew over the fielders too. Again he comes over the wicket though. This one's across the stumps well, and we try to defend, but in the end it's quite an aggressive stroke, straight to the man at deep mid-off. Final ball for Griffiths then, persisting with over the wicket. This one's on the stumps and it just beats the edge. He finally found his line in that over, and in the end he restricted us quite well. Leaning seen off the spinner at the other end, the new bowler going for 6 runs, and we've got Mike the medium pacer, and we're managing to crash him through deep mid-off. There's no one there, so it runs away for 4, and we are running towards 150 now. 127 off 89 balls, and Yorkshire flying on 233. We're going to try and go to the leg side now. There is a fielder in the deep, but it's an easy single, and we'll just take 5 and over. There's no need for us to rush anything at this stage. It could be an insurmountable lead at some point, so hopefully we'll be able to make that this day 1, and then it will be really hard for our opponents to chase us down. We'll be able able to win pretty comfortably. We're facing the spinner for the first time. He's bowled 6.1 overs, but we've not faced any of them. Just shows how well we've been doing at the other end. Though we may be going LB there, we need a little bit of an inside edge to save us. I didn't feel too confident about it, but the umpire seems to be on our side. We're going to try and do a little better with this one, and hopefully avoid any more warning signs. Here he comes Parkinson then, a short ball which we flick away to the leg, and they're going to chase it down and it'll just be a single. Jack Leaning's going back on strike. Mike the medium pacer in again then, pretty similar feel for him, and we can go to that mid-wicket area and it's always going to be one, whether we connect with it well or not. Here comes the left arm spinner then, over the wicket for him, but a tough angle for us, and we've completely missed that one and it's almost an edge. And back to our schoolboy errors there, the way we got out so often at club level. Again he's going to have another go. They've taken the silly fielder out and put him in the deep on the offside, but it's not going to make a difference as we have to defend. Parkinson really found a good line here. 2 balls left in the over and a slightly more open field. Plenty of dots so far as we've got ourselves out, have we? What a catch that is off the ricochet. We're obviously given, it's a terrible way to get out, but another brilliant innings falls to the spinner, and it's a way we've fallen so many times. The little edge then came off the bat. Unfortunately that took it past the wicket keeper for our opponent, but the slip fielder got round with an unbelievable catch. A little bit of Ben Stokes there from the fielder. Brilliant work, and that means that we're out at 130 off 99 balls, the first 5 sixes of our career, and 15 fours, setting a brilliant platform for Yorkshire. So let's go and find out what score they've got and reflect on the position of the match before we end the episode and plan our next one. We're back then at a very interesting point towards the end of day 2 in this first class match. You may think Leicestershire 16 for 1, what's so interesting about that? Well, the most important thing is they're actually following on now. We made 471, no one topped the score of the 2 openers, so we got 130 and then Mason Edward on 82, and then Leicestershire came in and just made 247. That left them over 200 behind, and now they've come in for the second innings. Interestingly also, for those of you that were following at club level, look who the top scorer was for Leicestershire in the first innings, and he's currently top scorer who will be bowling to. Aidan Doherty, who was the number 3 at Leeds, so often bailed us out in our first season when we were a little inconsistent, and now we're going to have a reunion with him, trying to bowl him out for Leicestershire. So we didn't get a bowl in Leicestershire's first innings, and I'm not surprised as they went out pretty quickly, but now as the bowlers are pretty tired, I'd imagine we'll get a few overs here. So Leicestershire still trail by 208, having lost an early wicket yet again, and we're going to be bowling to Doherty and Munsey, so that'll certainly be an exciting moment for us. I know I don't often show you enough bowling on here, so before we go I am just going to go through the first over, see if we can nick an early wicket before we finish off the episode. So let's go and get into it and mix things up a little. We have been a little more expensive in recent games, but that is mainly because we've been trying to take wickets rather than just being economical. So hopefully that will pay dividends today and we'll get to see an early wicket before we finish the episode. First ball of the over then, and we're going to go for a standard delivery. We're bowling them slightly wider because we've got more turn now. That was a little wider than we'd anticipated. We've also made a slight tweak to our normal field. We've just moved our second slip to third slip, just because some of the edges have been a bit thicker recently, and it's enabled us to get an extra catch or two. Our second delivery is going to be the short doosra. We're just going to try and bounce it a bit more as well. See if we can catch him up tight to his body. This occasionally just flicks it to the leg side. Another dot ball and an economical start. Hopefully we'll create some chances soon. So we're going to go for the flighted off breaker delivery, and again we're going to bowl it slightly wider. Try and tempt him out of his crease, but he just sweeps to the man in the circle. Fourth ball then, and we're going to bowl full this time. Doesn't matter what delivery you pick really, as he's never going to bounce or do anything, and we're just trying to tangle them at their feet and get an LB opportunity. One more standard delivery before the last one, where we go back to our usual delivery. This one cramps him up in his crease, a little bit too narrow to the leg side. Fortunately Munsey doesn't take advantage, though it's a shame we haven't got to bowl to Doherty this over. So we're going to go for a top spinner to finish off. Bowl it right on the stumps. Are we going to get a chance? It hits the pad in front. Does the umpire want to be our friend? He doesn't. Maybe it was just drifting past leg stump. But we did create one opportunity in our first over. A maiden as well, so a pretty good start. And the next over's gone for just 5 as well. So a really decent start with the ball. We'll continue to spell off camera and try to make it a successful one. And hopefully we won't need to bat again in this match. But if we do, we'll probably come back and show it. But in the meantime, if you did enjoy this innings and that fantastic quick-fire century to put Yorkshire in a dominant position, please do put a thumbs up on the video. I'm hoping we're not far away from being awarded the captaincy now, as we are starting to get a few other messages too. We got one to say that we're going to be picked for the JLT Sheffield Shield, which is obviously the Australian domestic competition, so potentially winter cricket for the first time this year, and our first match on a pitch overseas. So I'm really looking forward to that. We've obviously got the T20 Blast just around the corner now, only 3 or 4 weeks before the tournament starts, and we'll be showing plenty of action from that one. But 130 in the first innings, Yorkshire enforcing the follow-on, and now we're back at the bowling crease against an old foe. Certainly been an interesting episode. I've really enjoyed it and I hope you have too. If you have, please subscribe to the channel for regular Cricket 19 content. We've got 3 episodes a week from this career. Every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at midday, we'll have new episodes from our saga with Yorkshire. Hopefully, as we mentioned, we'll be adding in some Australian sides and maybe even an international selection soon. And if we can be made captain of Yorkshire, we'll be able to focus on batting a bit more. There's also daily FM19 content from my long-term one club story. We're trying to take Torquay United to the top of English and European football, and you can see new episodes of that every Sunday to Thursday at 4:30, so I hope you'll come and join me for that one. We'll also have news about FM20 in the coming weeks, the teams we're going to manage, the saves we've got planned, and reaction to some of the new features. So keep your eyes peeled on Saturdays at 4:30 for that. They'll start over the next few weeks. And then finally our snooker 19 career continues. That's every Friday at 4:30. A massive thanks to everyone who continues to support that series. We're in the final event of it now, and it's the season-ending World Championships, and we're hoping to emulate Ronnie O'Sullivan by going all the way to win the final. We'll have action from every round in that one, so come and check out how we're getting along. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support with the series as always. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time for another exciting episode as we close in on the Yorkshire captaincy.